Skol, Vikings faithful. I am here today because something very heavy is weighing on my purple heart, and I know you feel it too. We are standing at a crossroads, staring into a future that feels fundamentally different. There is a massive, lingering question regarding an iconic figure in Minnesota, a decision so massive that it could alter the soul of our locker room forever. Something feels off, almost ominous, in the silence coming from the TCO Performance Center. Before I break down this situation that has kept every single one of us awake at night, I need to hear from you. Comment your name, city, and country below so I know where our Skol brothers and sisters are. The suspense is becoming absolutely unbearable. Harrison Smith is the man whose legacy hangs in the balance, and honestly, the uncertainty surrounding his potential retirement is tearing this fan base apart. We are talking about a true legend of the Minnesota Vikings, a warrior who has bled purple for 14 incredible seasons. After that emotional send-off at US Bank Stadium during the final game of the 2025 season, many of us were convinced we had witnessed his swan song. Yet here we are in late May, and the void remains empty. The procedural release in March left him as a free agent, and frankly, he owes us absolutely nothing after all the hits he delivered. Reports indicate that an update is not coming anytime soon, which tells me he is deeply contemplating his future away from the gridiron. Is he preparing for life after football in Knoxville, or is he quietly staying in shape for one final heroic charge? The contrast between his legendary career and the quiet void of this offseason is stark. We saw him perform at an elite level just 1 year ago, showing the world that he still possesses the instincts and the physicality that made him a household name in Minnesota. This isn't just about a roster spot. It is about the heart and soul of our defensive identity. If he chooses to hang up his cleats, we lose more than just a playmaker. We lose the captain, the mentor, and the most consistent presence we have known for over a decade. The fact that he hasn't officially retired gives me that tiny glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, he misses the roar of the crowd too much to walk away for good. The team has made it clear that the door is wide open, and Kevin O'Connell would surely welcome him back with open arms. We are holding our breath, waiting for a sign, any sign, that he might grace the turf at US Bank Stadium just one more time. It is a waiting game that tests our patience and our loyalty to one of the greatest to ever wear the Vikings uniform. The decision is his alone, but for us, it feels like the end of an era is lingering just out of reach, waiting to be confirmed or postponed. The reality is that we are witnessing the complex process of a legendary athlete deciding when the fire inside finally burns out. Recent developments at the TCO Performance Center have made it clear that the coaching staff is operating under the assumption that he might not be back, yet the lack of an official retirement announcement continues to fuel wild speculation. Josh Metellus, who has stepped up as a vital veteran leader, has made it clear that he supports his friend regardless of the choice. Having spent time together recently, Metellus is keeping the bond strong, even if he is doing his part to keep the locker room focused on the upcoming season. It is a touching display of brotherhood, but it also underscores the reality of the business. The team is moving forward with OTAs, preparing for a new campaign, and the presence of third-round rookie Jacoby Thomas serves as a constant reminder that the franchise must eventually look to the future. Even so, the shadow of our star safety looms large over everything. We know he loves this locker room, and the allure of playing one more year with a team that has clear potential under Kyler Murray could be enough to lure him back. He has spent years in Brian Flores' scheme, knowing it inside and out, which would make his return incredibly valuable. He isn't just a player, he is a coach on the field, a man who has seen every offensive look imaginable over 14 years of professional warfare. The prospect of him mentoring the young secondary while chasing that elusive ring is a narrative that practically writes itself. Yet the silence persists. Is he truly done, or is he just taking his time to ensure his body and mind are ready for the grueling grind of a 15th NFL season? The atmosphere around the facility is professional, yet there is an undeniable tension every time his name is mentioned. We are watching a master of his craft take his time, and as fans, we have to respect that. But deep down, every time I look at our roster, I keep hoping to see that number 22 jersey on the field one last time. Strategically, the return of such a seasoned veteran would be a massive boost for our defensive chemistry and leadership. Having him back on the field, even in a rotating capacity, would provide a security blanket for a defense that is looking to establish a dominant identity under Flores. We are talking about a player who has 14 years of high-level experience, someone who can diagnose plays before the ball is even snapped. If he decides to return, he could serve as the ultimate bridge to the next generation, grooming Jacoby Thomas while ensuring that our secondary remains disciplined and competitive in a tough division. The impact on the locker room morale would be immeasurable. When you have a player with that much tenure and respect, his presence alone elevates the standards of the entire unit. However, we must also consider the tactical risk. At 37, the game demands a high physical toll. Can he maintain that elite level for one more long season? His performance last year proved he still has juice, but the recovery time and the intensity of a full NFL schedule are unforgiving. From a coaching perspective, having him around allows for more creative flexibility in our defensive sets. If he is out there, the opposing quarterback has to account for his presence on every single snap, which creates opportunities for the younger guys to make plays. It is a chess move that only a player of his caliber can facilitate. If he chooses to come back, he is not just chasing a final paycheck, he is chasing a legacy and perhaps one last shot at the Super Bowl. That kind of hunger is rare, and it is exactly what we need to push this team over the top. The strategy is clear. If he returns, we are significantly stronger, but the management must be prepared for the eventuality that he stays retired, ensuring our depth remains intact for the long haul. The pressure on this situation is immense, both for the player and for the organization. The media is constantly probing for updates, and every silence is interpreted as a hint toward retirement. For us, the fans, the emotional investment is high. We have grown up watching him make impossible interceptions and bone-crushing tackles that defined our Sundays. The risk here is that we are holding on to a memory of what he was, hoping he can reach into that deep reservoir of talent one more time. The media narrative is shifting towards the inevitable, suggesting that the team is preparing for life without him, which only adds to the tension. If he decides to walk away, it will be the end of a legendary chapter, and the void he leaves will be difficult to fill immediately. There is no replacing a franchise icon who has been the face of our defense for so long. The organization has navigated this well, showing respect for his timeline and giving him the space to breathe after such an illustrious career. However, the clock is ticking. As training camp approaches, the team needs clarity to finalize their rotations and solidify their leaders. If he drags this decision into the summer, it could create uncertainty for the young players who need to know their roles and their competition. The risk is high, but so is the potential reward if he decides he has one more season in him. Every fan is watching, every sports analyst is guessing, and the suspense is building with each passing day. The pressure is real. We want him back because he is a Viking to the core, but we also want him to be happy, whether that means leading our defense or walking off into the sunset. It is a delicate balance of emotions, a true test of our patience, and a constant reminder that in the NFL, even the greatest stories must eventually come to an end. We are truly at the edge of our seats waiting for the final word on his future. This decision will define the narrative for the upcoming season, and it serves as a powerful reminder of how much this game means to those who give everything for it. Will we see him roaming the secondary in purple once more, or has he truly played his last snap? The weight of this legacy is incredible, and I want to know where you stand. Do you think he has one more legendary season left in the tank, or is it time for our icon to retire a Viking? Leave your thoughts, share your predictions, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this unfolding story. Skol.